Welcome, everyone, to another episode of The Banya, brought to you from a hot sauna. Today we've got Dustin Vidrine. Am I pronouncing that correct?
Perfect.
All right, Vidrine.
What is
and
that?
of course, Luke
That
Manuel.
is French.
Okay, another Frenchie, just
He's-
like Todd.
He's a French Cajun, right?
Cajun French, probably just like Todd. Todd's Tebow. Wish we had some of those down there. They either stayed up in New Hampshire area where Todd was, or came down to Louisiana and ate muskrats.
So muskrats good eating.
Muskrats, right? Fuck yeah.
How do you cook up a muskrat?
I don't know. Never cooked a muskrat, but you can put it in a gumbo for sure. I'd imagine.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, nothing tastes bad in a gumbo.
No.
No, for sure. Well, welcome to the Banya.
Thanks for having me.
Glad you could come in. A little intro for Dustin here with BJJ Blue Belt over at Aries PV with the head coach, the OG Grey Wolf.
OG?
Dustin's a lawyer as well, and just an all-around hilarious troll of Gordon Ryan and the internet.
Right.
Anyone worth trolling.
Tom DeBlas is coming up second. I'm about to start on him.
Okay. Well, cool. Well, tell us a little bit about that.
About trolling?
Yeah, you're very good at it.
I mean, it comes natural. It's the internet. There's safety in that, right? Everybody has internal dialogue of what they want to say to people. That's just a platform where you get to say it. You would never say it in any other situation. I realize that. And then people chime in, and it's just a time suck. But that's it. The art of trolling is something you're born with, I think.
Yeah. I think I was telling you this, Dana. I hear about trolls all the time, and I've never actually met one. So, kind of.
I'm moderated because I don't personally like trolls per se as well. So you gotta be selective with it. If it's too much, it's too much.
Yeah, you gotta be classy with it, right?
Right.
Classy.
I haven't done it in a while, actually.
It sounds like it's about time.
Yeah, it's kind of vigilante trollism. I do it in my mind to only people that need it. Kind of like Dexter.
Right.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Like
The
that.
Dexter of
Yeah,
trolling.
the people that need to be trolled. Right.
Bring him down a notch.
I've been wanting to ask you about this. So you're always working out, and you keep running into RFK over at Mountainside.
Mountainside.
Right?
Yeah. Well, as you can see from this shirtless pic, I'm not always working out.
Swole.
I just happened to be there on 2 Sundays where he was there. Yeah, creepiest thing. Ran into him twice in the last month and a half.
Why was it creepy?
Just to walk in a gym and see Robert Kennedy working out.
Was he in jeans?
In jeans
In
every
jeans,
time.
okay.
Yeah.
I don't think he's ever out of the Levi's. And
He's a man of the people.
man of the people, walks around aimlessly.
Uh-huh.
He'll do a few sets here, drop, go somewhere else, random body part, do a few sets. So I don't
That's
know.
exactly how I work out.
Right.
That's why I don't go to the gym. I don't know what I'm doing in there.
Right, yeah. So, cool. I mean, takes pictures, chit-chats, talks. But,
That's rad. Do you think he's going to do something for us, for this country? You think he's
Yeah,
going to be
yeah.
able to change some shit?
if he passes the screening or whatever he needs to go through, I think so.
I mean,
for
there's just always, like, the doubt of, like, the bureaucracy's going to slow... Like, I know he has good ideas, but can he implement them without, like, the food industry and all this shit just coming down on them and blocking them, right, for 4 years?
We'll see.
Yeah.
Supposedly they're going to clean house
That would be
That's
fantastic.
the idea.
I mean,
That's
and fire a bunch of people that are unnecessary. And
yeah, that are bought and paid for, hopefully.
I mean, he's out there.
Get him
He's
out
got
there.
some crazy
But
ideas.
dude, that alone seems like more than a full-time job. Like, you would need a platoon of people going through all these government agencies, because there's what, 500, right?
Yeah,
Thereabouts. Like, how can you
the appointments,
you know,
yeah.
and like terminating government employees, I don't think is that easy, right? You don't know?
I don't know. Yeah, I'm sure they have
just-
civil service protection and some security,
Well-
which is why they all suck at their job, because they have no repercussions.
Right. And I mean, with my limited contact of, you know, because with my business, I have to work with government entities, and the joke is always like, if they're terrible at their job, they promote them out of their life. So like these people keep getting promotions just to get them the hell out of
Right,
whatever, where all the people that are with them don't want them. and it's easier to promote someone than it is to fire them.
Exactly.
You know?
And in my mind, coming up as a young lawyer, which is stressful, I would always think, oh shit, if I get fired from a good job, I could always go work at the government, be a government attorney, and not have to worry about it.
Yeah, you'd be retired by now.
Not to say the government attorneys aren't good, but I'm pretty sure it's harder to get fired there.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Do you run into that at work? You're always telling off-color jokes and getting yourself in trouble?
I do, but I'm also the attorney that HR comes to see what to do about things. So
You've got 'em right
I kind of
where you
have
want
a
'em.
captive little thing going on here.
They call you into their office. They're like, "We need to, what would you do if you were in your seat?"
Yeah, and I'm like, what state is this? What office? Where did it happen?
Right.
Yeah, just today I was making gay jokes. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but my daughter, Olivia, who you have all met, maybe not, I think you told the class
I've
you
rolled
met.
with her, dude.
Yeah. Well, she just randomly last night, I'm divorced, so she's not with me full time, but we'll text almost every day. She sent me a picture of 2 gay guy mermen, with rainbow flags hugging each other.
Right.
And underneath, she said, "This made me think of you." So I'm like, what the fuck is this all about?
So she got your sense of humor.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and we were on a Teams meeting today, and somebody was complaining about, someone sent him a meme about a tie, and I'm showing everybody on the meeting, like, look, my daughter called me a fag. So, yeah, I get away with things that I wouldn't let other people get away with, but they know I'm joking. It's like a text. If you end it with LOL or haha,
it makes it okay.
you get a pass.
Sure.
Right.
So I'm a smart ass and make off-colored comments, and I just smile.
Yeah. Well,
I trap them. I make them laugh, and then they're guilty by association.
Sure. Nice. Yeah. Good move. I mean, if all jokes, if they come from like a place of love for the most part,
Exactly.
it's all good, right?
Right.
Nobody should be off limits.
No.
As soon as somebody's off limits,
Fire them.
Right.
Get rid of them.
Yep. No, that's very smart. Well, yeah. I mean, speaking of health, I hope RFK and all those boys can help us with that. But I feel like there's a turning of a tide with people just paying attention to, obviously the food supply situation and just drinking's on a downhill, overall. So it seems like it's getting in a better spot, but it's still, unfortunately, there's like a lot of people, and we've all seen this at the grocery store, just piles of Coca-Cola in their cart. It's sad to see that go down because it's just like daily poisoning of yourself,
for sure.
But so what are you doing to stay healthy?
Great question. I feel like I haven't been doing any of what I normally do in the last 6 months to almost a year. And I kind of blame most of that on jiu-jitsu. But also other busyness and life events. But historically, eat well, watch what I eat. Because I'm 48, and the older you get, the more you have to watch that stuff, or you're going to look like a melted candle. And that's going to happen eventually, I guess. Unless RFK gets us all the access to the TRT that we need. Eat well. Just watch what I eat. I used to be very vigilant about it with an app. Track the macros. Make sure everything's in line with the calories I want to either gain weight or pull back. Weight lift with no particular agenda, but just stay at it 3 to 4 times a week. And I used to jog and hike and do yoga mostly.
So you're doing everything.
Yeah.
That's not you hear everybody. Do everything, everyone.
Right, but then I started jiu-jitsu. Then things started hurting.
Oh, okay.
Doing bench pressing's not as fun because then I hurt my neck surfing, which I suck at, like jiu-jitsu. But so mostly jiu-jitsu with some casual weightlifting. The diet has fallen off, but my goal for 2025 is to get back on it and stop taking the easy days off where work was long and hard and I skipped jiu-jitsu or I skipped the gym.
That's way too easy to do.
And I eat popcorn or buy some pizza because the kids want it. DV 2.0 2025.
It's a good time for it.
You know what the answer to not going to train at nighttime is?
Morning time.
Yeah, there you
which
go,
has
baby.
been on my radar for a year and a half.
Aw.
And I'm up at 5 o'clock every day regardless.
Oh, there's no reason then.
Well, the reason is I'm doing coffee curls and watching the news, and it feels good to just ease into the day.
Yeah, I guess. It feels better to
You don't need coffee if
roll
you get
with
a
all
roll
your
in.
buddies.
That's true. That's true. I might.
Well, I do both. I get up and I
know.
drink coffee, and I do that. I enjoy it, and then I head over.
I know.
Yeah, we know. We get your coffee breath when we roll
Oh,
with you.
thanks a lot, dude.
Yeah. But I see a lot
Get
of
some
the
more Altoids.
historical nighttime guys getting to the morning class, so there must be something to it. Besides getting Vinny, which is a benefit
Oh,
any time of the day.
Amadeus, yeah.
Well, Amadeus, who we could catch him at night here and there as well.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I need to do that, man. It's just hard, but it takes being disciplined for a week or two, and then it's easy.
Yeah, yeah, I do as well. I need to get in there. I know I was getting some crap a couple weeks ago. Luke was giving me shit for not getting in the cold plunge again, so I've been back at it all week, 4 days in a row, 7 a.m. cold plunge at 45 degrees, so doing hard things, so I just gotta get back to it.
You've been doing hard things. They don't train at morning time, nighttime.
Morning time, nighttime.
Have time to lift sandbags in the garage.
I did the sandbag today.
Yeah, those things are great, man. That's like, I have a hard time, hitting the gym and like doing the old classics, right? Like bench press and all that. I just don't enjoy that kind of lifting. I do like kind of the Russian model, so I'm not as good at it as I hope I would be, but I try to just get in a little bit early and just do some like body weight squats on that slant board, that kind of stuff. I love that because it's all like the mobility we need,
right?
To not only do jiu-jitsu but like have a healthier life. Like squat down and do,
It's funny you said that. The last 2 weeks I've been doing intentionally mobility stretching, which is extremely painful but necessary. I can't even believe that I'll be 50 soon enough.
You look great, dude.
Well, thanks. It's all facade. The insides look at least 65, I guarantee you.
Yeah.
But, yeah, Coach Steve, I need to get into his mobility stuff. I did a sandbag class that he taught out in Tempe or Mesa, wherever
Oh, yeah?
the other Aries next to Aries is, which was good stuff. It's good to switch it up.
Mm-hmm. Well, little daily things, too. So I was saying, getting the cold plunge every morning. Right after that, I just immediately do 30 super deep body weight squats, just as far down as I can go. Get that full flexion of the knee, which is good. That's helped me with my knee drastically. It's weird. Just 30 deep squats right after the cold plunge, and then I'll just do 15 to 20 pull-ups. Fortunately, I've got this in my garage, but yeah, it's just daily things. Yeah, and that's helped me at least. So having some sort of daily routine, it helps kick off the day as well.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm gonna map it out and stick to it for 2025. It's because it affects my mental health when I don't do it.
For sure.
And the last 6 months have been so wild with a number of things that I need to make time for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, tell us about. We've been doing jiu-jitsu about the same amount of time. We started, I think, either right at the same time or within a month. So
I started a little bit before you at Grey Wolf.
Uh-huh.
I think you might have been in jiu-jitsu at a different school for a few months before you
I
switched over.
did like 4 years ago. I did for like 6 weeks at a Gracie Baja in Arcadia. It was cool, but I think it just because of the vibe there, it wasn't my thing, so I didn't stick with it. So
I actually did a trial at Gracie Arcadia before it moved to where it's at on the Indian School.
Oh, there you go.
Before COVID, when it was still in Thomas.
Uh-huh.
Then COVID hit. And, so right about the same time, I think I was the second class of the Warrior Challenge at Grey Wolf 3 weeks after the first class.
Yeah.
And
so what got you into jiu-jitsu? What draw you to Grey Wolf at the time, now Aries PV?
Well, Grey Wolf in particular was just, it's time to, COVID's done. It's time to get back into what I was going to try out before COVID shut everything down when I was testing gyms out.
Uh-huh.
And Grey Wolf was never there on the maps when I'd searched. Then all of a sudden, Grey Wolf, I'm like, well, what the fuck? Why didn't I see this before?
Yeah.
Because it wasn't open.
It was brand new, yeah.
Then I looked at the page. I was like, this dude looks pretty fucking awesome. He has a beard. He has cool vibes. It doesn't seem like... and he's old, He's my age or older.
Yeah.
So I sent a message, went in, and I was like, yeah, this dude's cool. I'm going to try this. And it's a bunch of new people from what it sounds like. And that takes away some intimidation factor. But just the way it was all explained, like, it's Warrior Challenge just for people that never really did it before. You're going to get all the basics, all the stuff that, I did the other gym, which is probably similar to every other gym out there.
Yeah.
You sign up, you never did it before, everything's hunky-dory. Come in, we're welcoming you, get there. And they're doing these drills you never saw before. You don't know how to tie a belt, and nobody's really slowing down to show you.
I still don't know how to tie my belt.
Right, same.
Yeah, Luke can't do it, tie his belt, so that's okay.
So that's how I found Grey Wolf. Jiu-Jitsu altogether, I think I'm a decade or a little bit older than both of you guys, but when I was in high school and starting college, the UFC was becoming prominent in America. So 91, I think 94, 95, they really started getting some TV time.
Sure.
And I just remember my brother-in-law, who was taking Japanese jiu-jitsu in college, was like, dude, you need to come over to the apartment. We need to watch this shit. And he was talking about South Park. And they were doing an episode about aliens anal probing. And we're all stoned, drunk, whatever we do. Then UFC was on after. And he was like, oh, I've been wanting to watch this. You got to watch this Hoist Gracie dude. They do some stuff, it's like what we do, but it's just mostly on the ground, pressure points, things like that.
Yeah.
And we watched it. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Why is that 140-pounder going up against a 300-pounder?
Right.
Why is one in a gi and one ready to do kickboxing?
Yeah.
And it's like, it's just no holds bar. And Gracie family was so dominant in a weird way that normal people like us were like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
You could do this stuff. And Hoisty was running through, like, Shamrock. If you look at that dude, he's like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Right.
And he took it to him. There were some close matches or some boring matches, but that's what got me into it. Still didn't pull the trigger because I had a lot more partying, drinking to do, and I was still...
Yeah, there was a big gap in the
still
20 years or so, right?
More into music and drinking.
What's the difference between Japanese jiu-jitsu and Brazilian?
As far as I know, Japanese does some striking. And
okay.
Does some stand-up game.
That changes everything.
Right. And then when they get you to the ground, they have the ground game, which I think is what the Gracie's focused on.
Yeah, but so when you take away striking, though, that's probably what made the Brazilian style excel like crazy, because you don't have to worry about getting smacked in the face.
Right.
You're doing other shit,
Yeah, but if you look at the older stuff, when they come out, they're striking. And even if you go to combatives, which I checked out here before.
Oh, the Brazilian stuff, you mean?
Yeah, they have striking involved, but it's more striking to deal with striking and then get them on the ground.
Yeah.
Well, there's some jiu-jitsu, what is it? Combat jiu-jitsu. Have you seen some of those? They're fun.
Do. Yeah,
open-handed striking.
Me and Billy talked about
Eddie
that.
Bravo's, right?
I don't know if Eddie Bravo's
I think that's
specifically,
his,
but is
yeah.
it? Okay.
Well, he definitely has a different style, but the combat jiu-jitsu, those 10th Planet guys did.
Yeah. Because he's 10th Planet, right?
Yeah. I mean, that looks amazing, and it seems useful.
Yeah.
And me and Billy talked about it a year and a half ago, and he probably doesn't even remember, but he offered to do it. Then I was like, nah, I'm good. Yeah. Because I don't want to get slapped by Billy.
We don't need. Well, we don't need to be smacked in the head.
Well, yeah, it's good to know some striking, but
you can learn it, but like
I practice with the lift
and doing all that stuff at our age. That's just, in my opinion, that's dumb.
Right.
But hey, for those of you who do that,
more power to you.
Yeah, it's great, but we gotta save our brain at this point.
You dummies.
So then I just blame the algorithm on Facebook for incessantly bringing up UFC clips, and I'm like, you know what? I said I should do this. Now I should do it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. Well, you
got in.
Yeah.
Well, I got in. Right.
And you landed in the best gym in probably the world, I would guess.
Yeah. You can't beat the camaraderie at all.
That alone makes me that's what I want for everybody that I love in my life, is to have like a semblance of doesn't have to be jiu-jitsu, but just like that tribe that we all have,
right?
The community,
because dude, it's rad, man. I mean, especially if you open yourself up to it,
right? And that was kind of my motivation as well. You're married. I left Louisiana with the person I was married to, and when you're married, I mean, you're married. Your friends tend to be that circle of friends.
Yeah.
And whenever you're out that circle, you tend to lose some, or at least I did, probably because they were all friends made through her. Then all your friends become the girls you meet on the dating apps, and you look back and you're like, well, this isn't healthy. I can't have just dating apps friends, all girls. And I knew jiu-jitsu would open some doors there. First few classes, I was like, not my tribe.
Oh, yeah.
But once you get some ball sweat on you, and
that is a lot to take in at once, you know, like you're like, all right, I'm dealing with all these characters, you know, you got fucking Lucas saying some weird stuff in your ear as he's choking you out. You know, it's just like the whole, not to mention just dealing with learning how to do jiu-jitsu, right? That alone is a miracle that anybody does it, not to mention, that initial shock of, and again, Lucas, buddy, we all love you, but every single person that meets you is the first 10 days are they're rocky, man.
Right.
You know what I mean? But
and that's why I love Lucas.
Don't change, Lucas.
I could say anything to him. I don't have to temper anything. Lucas could understand it, because I say some stupid shit too. And so far, it hasn't backfired as much, or maybe it has. I just don't know about it.
Right. Well, that's right too.
But yeah, now looking back, I'm like, I wouldn't want this jiu-jitsu tribe if everybody was the same as me.
Oh no.
I get it. I get aggravated with, because I get aggravated with myself. That's why I need this.
Yeah.
And that's why it's fun to go and get even tapped out or choked out. Maybe that's what a cutter feels like. Maybe that's why they do it, but it makes you feel alive. And it's some random Joe. You walk around at your job like, I eat pieces of shit like you for breakfast. You eat pieces of shit for breakfast? You know, that kind of shit.
Right. Yeah.
Jiu-jitsu is the equalizer.
Yeah, it is.
And you get to know people subsurface.
Yeah.
And
well, we're cooking in here. What do you say we take a little
I would love that.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
Look at you. Everybody outlasts us, Dana. Like
our guests are outlasting
we're
us.
supposed to be on paper probably better at saunaing, but
Well, one of my past dating app friends that lasted for 3 or 4 years used to drag me into hot yoga. So
there you go.
all right, we're back. You see that little percolator doing work down
Yeah.
there?
You smell it too?
it smells
Little
great. This is
coffee
awesome.
aroma.
Is this all cedar?
This is all cedar. Brought to you by Home Depot. Home Depot.
Did you buy it pre-made?
Send Dana money. He's in the hole on this podcast. No, I built all this, dude. Every single piece of wood in here has been touched and maybe licked by me.
Well,
Probably licked by one of his children too.
For sure. Yeah, there. If you tore down the walls, you would see the drawings of my children. They tattooed it on the inside.
that's awesome.
So yeah, it's got good bones, as we say in the manual construction business.
There's memory in this sauna. We're building memory in the sauna.
Oh, for sure. I think this is the best thing ever for you guys to start this.
I agree. I mean, why not, right? I do need to call out somebody real quick.
Yeah.
Please pause, Dustin. Sean Babbins Wealth Management. We called him out for this tiny little thermometer that he provided, and he comes over last night after we called him out in the previous podcast with another thermometer that's probably cost less than that, which he probably got at a dollar store.
Right?
And the thermometer only goes to 140 degrees. I can't even...
The old one.
No, the new one. He just brought a new one over.
Oh, okay. So this is the old one.
And it's worthless.
Because we're almost at 169.
Come on. Babin Wealth Management. Let's work on this.
Tits on the board. You know what I mean? Thanks a lot, Sean. Thanks for nothing. I think he's trolling me.
He might be, but you need to
Pretty sure he is.
control the metrics of the advertisement and get yourself a 10% cut on any wealth management client that comes through the
He's
Banya.
actually smart. He's extending his we're talking about him more.
Right.
By doing stupid things like buying a worthless thermometer.
Free advertisement.
And it's
For sure.
ugly. Look at how ugly that is.
Maybe I need to call Sean because I've been catastrophic at doing my own financial management the last 2 years.
Dude, Sean actually he's good at that. So and he's like my brother. We grew up with him. He's my little brother's best friend, always at our house, you know, that kind of thing. So he's good at what he does besides buying shitty thermometers. But he actually did let me know there's apparently a better one on order, but we're gonna believe it when we see it. So I think that was a temporary prank. But, well, dude,
So I got a question.
Yeah, anything.
So you've competed a couple of times,
I
right?
competed twice.
Once
yes.
at white, once at blue, or not at blue yet?
No, I did. Blue right out of the gate.
Okay.
Probably
Nice.
3 weeks after promotions.
Nice.
That's the way to do it, dude. Just rip the Band-Aid
Yeah,
off.
my goal, even though I hate competing, and I never started to compete, is to compete at least at every level, just for my own personal goals. I suck at competing. The first one was traumatic, to say the least. And it was long, and it was gi, no gi, 3-hour break between.
Is it what is hard about it for you? Is it the actual, like, knowing that the day is going to be physically insanely hard?
No, I was
or
excited. And once I got there, I don't know, I think it triggered a PTSD response in me. Little brother, you know.
just getting handled?
Yeah, I'm 6'2", 195, but I'm small compared to my brother and my dad. And, I was the grunt. And I got that shit growing up, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just the whole fighting outside of an open mat with people you know.
Yeah.
Where I could tell that dude was coming hard at me. And, even before I got on the mat, I wasn't prepared for what would trigger in my brain. I had no water. I was so cotton-mouthed. It was just fuck. Then that dude went hard immediately.
It's another gear.
Yeah, and I think he busted my lip. And I was like, oh, fuck. So I was just like, just get through this.
Yeah, I mean, dude, and this is coming from somebody that got spanked for 10 years straight in wrestling before, things started to happen in a good way for me. It's like, and it's hard when you're a kid. It's hard to like tell them this, but you're in a grown adult, so you can hopefully trigger this in your brain. But just like lean into the spankings, dude. Just like go into all those tournaments. Like I'm probably gonna get beat up, I guess. If it's that hard for you mentally, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, it would be great if you went in feeling like you were gonna win, but I wouldn't worry about the like getting handled at all. Like you know what you're doing, dude.
Yeah.
Like you're good at jiu-jitsu. Nobody's gonna hurt you unless you let them by not tapping. You know what I mean?
Right. And now I know that, but I never did any combat sport. I was a baseball player. I was a musician. I've been on stage. I played baseball. No nerves, anything, because I had that. This is different. This is not something I naturally excel at. Right. And, just looking at the dude, I was like, fuck, this is the guy. He just had a look that for me was like, this dude's going to beat my ass. He looks tougher than I am. And we all know it's not about toughness.
Not at all.
But, that was in my head. And it was the same dude, all 4 matches. It was just he and I in the bracket. And after the first match, it was going through the motions. But everything you said going into the second match, I'm like, fuck it.
Yeah.
Who cares? I already embarrassed myself to the extent anyone was looking at me with embarrassment. In front of my team, I wasn't concerned about it.
Right. No.
And I did markedly better. I mean, I lost, but I lost to the gold medal winner, who apparently ran golds all through the white division as well.
There you go.
And held him to just the takedown points, 2 points, and actually almost had him. So I was very happy with that.
Right.
I didn't even care about losing. It felt like a win to me. And I'm sure in 2025, despite my hate for it, I like the camaraderie. I'm sure I'll compete at least 2 or 3 times because I want my daughter to do it as well, and I need to see her see me do it
Yeah.
more. Yeah.
Well, she's a little savage.
She is. And I want her to get more savagery and more foundations, which is cool. She gets all the higher stuff. But it's awesome when we're doing foundational classes and she gets a little bit. I try to teach her, but fuck, I don't even know what I'm doing enough to teach. So yeah, Peyton talks about getting some teams together. I think that would be awesome. That little intermediate 12 to 16 group that.
Yeah, they should be.
In between.
They should be regularly competing. They
Right.
should be just absorbed into it, know, in a big way. So and that'll help if you get string a bunch of them together. To
Right.
It's hard to go to a tournament by yourself and be the only 16-year-old there.
Oh yeah, the only time I competed is when there was hype. Everybody
Right.
doing it. Like fuck it. Even if I lose, I'm getting points because I'm 48, Masters, whatever. You're almost guaranteed a medal because there's not enough people in the bracket.
Yeah, that's right, baby.
I'm doing my part,
Automatic
man.
podium.
I haven't scored a point in any of my
competition?
5 matches. Not 1 point. But
All
I've
right,
never
so-
left without a medal.
So that's your goal. That's the goal. of
That's
this
my goal.
competition.
Score some
Let's
points.
Some points.
Actually, my goal, I was talking to Lucas. Shout out to Bubbly Crust. I was talking to Lucas on the phone last week or 2 weeks ago. I don't even know why he called, but we were chatting. Oh, we were talking about gaming computers because I needed some nerd advice. And I know he's into that. And, yeah, we were just chatting. I'm like, my issue with jiu-jitsu is I'm not mean enough. I don't go in with enough salt, like the takedowns that hurt. So I'm going to focus on that and just let the pieces go. Not try to be mean, but just not try to be as nice.
Yeah.
Just try to do the jiu-jitsu, and people are consenting. They know what. They accepted the risk.
Yeah, they got to defend whatever you're giving to
Right.
The killer instinct.
So everybody beware except for Luke. Takedowns are coming. And I might even learn that god-awful Russian twist one day.
If anybody that knows anybody that could take me down, I'm at Grey Wolf on Sunday at 10 a.m. doing a wrestling class.
Oh, there we go.
Shout out.
I doubt, we'll see.
Oh, you need to get this out. There's the guy in San Diego or SoCal that does this at the park. And he offers a cash.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
And he's taking down some enormous bodyguards. Or blocked their takedown, but he's taking them down as well.
Right.
That's a challenge that we could get behind.
You front me the cash. Let's go post up at, where are we going? I'm not doing it in the summer here. I'm telling you that. It's going to be a 6-month operation.
4 months.
Well, aren't you so Northern California native? Central California?
You know what? Yeah, Northern.
Northern. Yeah. Well, we have the Northern Cal Challenge. I like to travel. It's one of my main hobbies.
Oh, you're thinking we should take this show on the road?
If need be.
No, there's plenty of idiots here in Arizona we can
take
down.
But during the summer months.
Oh, yeah, I got you.
And it doesn't need to be 1,000 to get it kicked off, I assure you.
Yeah.
You get some podcast listeners. I'll put up the cash,
honestly, you
dude.
could probably make more money if you were just like, hey, $20 if you can touch my leg, and then I'll give you, or you give me 40 if I take you down, Or how does that work? No, you give me 5, you get 20, right?
We need to think of this to where there's an entry fee, so you can make some money, and whoever's sponsoring and fronting the cash could get a little bit.
There you go.
I'll definitely put 1,000 to see this.
Well, you're the lawyer, so why don't you draw something up?
I'll draw it up. In fact, we could probably buy some payout insurance for pennies on the dollar for such a low amount. That's what you do if you're sponsoring a golf tournament or something.
Oh, yeah.
You just buy hole-in-one insurance.
You know the tricks.
And there's got to be something we could get here for a bigger price.
I got to get in the water. Let's do that and then come back and say
You do another quick dip, and then we're going to wrap it up.
All right.
Yeah, dude, so thanks for coming on.
Yeah, man, thanks for the invite. It's
yeah.
good to get the message. I've been on a hiatus from the gym and jiu-jitsu, so...
get your ass back in there, dude.
Yeah, well, took a little time off. I emailed or texted Coach a couple weeks ago, just dealing with some at-home stuff and then traveling and everything else.
Right. Well,
we miss you. We want you back.
Oh, I miss being there. Trust me, dude. It is the worst thing to not be doing it is to still see all the stories and post them on.
Oh yeah, the FOMO.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's real, dude. Yeah, part of this, like, we want to get to know everybody in our tribe and just like let other people that maybe aren't even in that kind of see what we got.
Yeah,
show them the mental, the physical benefits of doing stuff like this. And I mean, Dane and I are gonna try to stay on the theme of mental and physical health, and as far as that we're not doctors, and it's like all anecdotal stuff. And
we've all been to doctors, and we know it works for us.
Well,
that's all you need.
I mean, there's problems there too. I mean, dude, whatever. I'm not gonna get into it. I just had another fun experience with my kid getting stitches and how silly the whole setup is. Just to get something simple like a couple stitches.
Well,
right?
we saw on the news how silly it is to everybody.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, something like that, dude, it's like, everything's so inflated. So, like, giving somebody first care, like, stitches is, forgive me for saying this, I'm not a doctor, but it looks pretty simple, right?
Yeah.
But, like, because of, like, all of the insurance and liability stuff, it becomes this huge thing to go to a doctor and wait and pay all this money to get
Right.
that done when, like, you know, it'd be kind of cool if we went back to, like, medieval days where it was, like, your neighborhood had somebody, you know, and you went there, you know, that kind of, like, a close... It's
Yeah.
never going to work. I know
No.
that, but, like, it sucks how inflated, like, the whole healthcare system
Yeah,
is.
I actually tried that on Carter, my son, who you met Carter. He was
Yeah,
doing it.
Yep.
He was just starting
Uh-huh.
after a bully incident, and I really needed him to gain some confidence.
Yeah.
He's not athletic naturally. He likes other things, which is why he doesn't do jiu-jitsu. But when he was young, he needed stitches. I was like, fuck this. We don't need to go. I was living in Tucson at the time, and Dana knows way down at South Houghton by the Santa Rita. It's probably at 25 minutes to Tucson Medical where they have a kids ER.
Serial grillers?
Yeah, so I just took some clippers, shaved around it, started taping that shit back together. It wouldn't hold. Then I took some liquid Band-Aid. And by the time I finished, I mean, he had a pile of shit and was like, this isn't working. So I had to drive him to the ER, and they were looking at me like,
What did you
what
do?
the fuck did you do? What happened? I was like, he slipped and he hit his head. I swear to God. They're like, what did you do? Why'd you? I was like, it seemed... I'm from Louisiana. We've just been here 2 years. This is how we do it in the country. And I'm so... Yeah. I was like...
You're good down there in South Tucson, though. They were calling CPS.
right.
You're
Hey,
right.
man, they were asking questions.
Yeah. They're nosy, aren't they?
Fuck.
I was joking with them. I pulled up to the ER or whatever, and they were like, "What's his date of birth?" And I was, "You guys just have to know everything, don't
Right.
you?
Right. Why are you stopping me? Am I under...
Just get some stitches here,
Right.
You know what I mean? But no, it's wild. I mean, we could talk for decades about all
sure.
that stuff, man. But yeah. So again, dude, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, man.
Sharing some of your story. We'll have you back on,
Thanks for asking. Yeah, I'm usually looser. Long work day. And
dude. Yeah.
I'm trying to keep it nice and polite.
This
but-
time of year is tough too,
Right.
man. Like I've been in a fog all of December, just like barely getting everything done, you know. So I
Yeah.
get it.
Same.
Well, thank you.
Well, this
Thanks
was
for
awesome,
coming in.
guys.
Yeah.
The dips and the whatever you call that, cold,
Yeah.
cold,
All right,
cool.
well,
back
let's
in.
go cuddle up to that fire. We'll keep
Hell
chopping
yeah.
it up, man. Love you.
Yeah, love y'all.
And,
Thanks for having me.
Yep. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Oh, and Luke teaches wrestling
Yeah.
every Sunday, and he's the coach, and he
10
fills in.
a.m.
That's right. 10
He's
a.m.
Division 1. He fought Colby Covington. He's on Colby Covington's Wikipedia page.
I stuck
Dude,
that
no
pig.
joke.
Come at me, Colby.
So when we start this takedown challenge, bring it.
Yeah, you remember.
All right.
Risk,
you remember
reward.
Vegas, don't you, Colby?
All right.
All
Well,
right,
thank you,
let's do it.
everyone.
Yep.
Peace.